Talking about the first streaming show in the Mojave Desert with Setlist. I asked you if you watch it. I think you couldn't watch it, right?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get around to watching it. I was out that day. I saw it. I've seen a few clips from it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I haven't seen it yet in its entirety. I'm looking forward to seeing it actually because
Yeah.
I like Earthless a lot. And Yeah, so it's compared to ours. I don't even know how ours looks yet. I've heard it. I've heard the show,
Yeah.
but I've only seen one video clip that was released the other day. I think "Let's Get Lost," like a preview
Yeah.
of it. So, but it looked fantastic. I mean, yeah, I was kind of blown away how good
Yeah.
it looked. So, yeah, I'm excited. We're all excited actually to see it. So,
So from your input, well, of seeing that clip, uh, was it? It did sound as good as when you were playing there. I mean, because the earliest show sounded
uh-huh.
perfect, perfect. I don't know
Yeah,
what the guy did on sound engineering, but it was amazing. I don't know how was yours.
yeah. I mean, it's what I heard. It sounded great. Playing live, I mean, it's like we had pretty good monitors. They had a good system there,
Yeah,
so it was we could hear ourselves okay, and but it's always different hearing it from like when you're not playing, so sort of like as an audience member or like
yeah,
from from outside of the playing situation. It's always very different, but it sounded great. The quality was fantastic. So yeah, it's just it's again then it's very different when you watch it with a video as well. It
yeah.
adds another dimension to it. So yeah, it's I think I forget the guy's name who was doing the mixing, but he lives out here in Joshua Tree, and I know he's putting a lot of work into it, and yeah, it sounds great. Like what I've heard so far sounds great. So there's no complaints there.
Good. Right. So how this all came about? I mean, Nebula being part of this live in the Mojave Desert. Did they contact you? You contact them? You heard about the project?
Yeah, they actually contacted us about it. We know Ryan, who's the mastermind behind it all, Dr. Jones,
Yeah.
and we've played Stoned and Dusted before, and he's a Nebula fan. And yeah, they approached us a few months before. He mentioned something. I spoke to him on the phone. He called me up, and he mentioned something about it. And then, sort of a few months before the recording, that's kind of when it really took off. He started, they said, "So this is going ahead. You guys down to do it?" And he's like, "Sure, I'd love to." But we didn't realize how big of a production at the time that it was going to be. And it seems to sort of snowball and get bigger and bigger and become this monster kind of thing. And yeah, we're really flattered and very honoured to have been asked to be a part of this. There's
Cool.
some great bands on that they've got so far, and hopefully they continue this into the future and for years to come, kind of thing. Lots of different volumes. So yeah.
For sure. And what was the hardest part of doing this? I don't know if they already had the location and all the things prepared. You just went there and play, or did you have to repeat anything? How was it?
Yeah, it's for us. It was the hardest part was actually getting there on
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
We weren't. We were late, and we did. I guess where they were filming was about an hour away or so from where we live, and that was the hardest part was getting there. Once we got there, they met us at the bottom of the hill because you had to drive up in 4x4s to get up there, like off-road vehicles because it was kind of a sketchy road. And yeah, once we got up, they took us up there. It was, all we had to do was set our pedals up or whatever and play. So they made it really very easy for us. And it got a little chilly in the evening when the sun went down.
yeah.
But apart from that, it was, that's no big deal at all because, the adrenaline was going and, the blood was pumping. So, yeah, it was not difficult at all. It's probably one of the easiest things we've ever done, really.
Cool. I know this is gonna be released on vinyl, and the pre-order is already there. But do you know if this show is gonna be available also in Blu-ray or DVD, or it's gonna be just a one-time experience that you can pay per review and then it's gonna disappear?
Yeah, I think it's no, I think they're putting. From what I understand, there's you have the live record, but then they're going to release it as like a DVD or Blu-ray or something, or
Yeah.
digital download. So you're able to watch the whole thing, again and again if you wish to. I think they're doing that with all the performances. I'm not sure if they're releasing it. The release coincides with the video release coincides with the record release, or if they're doing it slightly separately, delayed.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but as far as I know, yeah, it's going to be available to buy at some point in the near future. So it would kind of be nice to be able to watch that again, for us personally, at least. It's, yeah.
Yeah. And all this is new about doing streaming shows, so the experience of playing there must be amazing, not only because of the place, because of the kind of shows, all the guys with the cameras around you, but let's talk about the other side, the guy who is watching this show on the sofa. Do you have any experience during the lockdown watching streaming shows?
Not really. I didn't watch really. I've watched a few. I actually watched Setlist from their rehearsal space.
Yeah.
Do something. We did a couple of shows ourselves, like streaming shows ourselves.
Yeah.
But I've not. I personally, I hadn't watched any kind of streaming shows. So I think I've seen a few bits on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
People doing live things. Which we did a live one. We did a rehearsal from my house, and we streamed that one time, and then I think like July 4th last year we played down in the low desert in Sky Valley at a 4th of July party.
Yeah.
With some friends band with Nick Oliveri and I think Whiskey and Knives it was, which is Alfredo from Caius. That's the band he's doing these days, and that was just streamed as well, sort of thing. Nothing, nowhere near a production. It was done on like an iPhone, one camera iPhone kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen anything personally really of the streaming thing. But it seems it's taking off. It's the only way people can see bands right now and keep up with anything these days with all the lockdowns. But hopefully that might change sometime soon. Who knows?
Totally.
It's the new. They keep talking about the new normal. It's definitely not normal. So
Yeah.
it's new, yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, not normal.
Not normal at all. Yeah, and no one has seen your set on the Mojave Desert yet, not even you. So tell me
Yep.
about the set list, because you released a new album, I think it was 2 years ago. Holy shit! So
Yeah.
what did you play on that set? What can we hear?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. What did we play? We actually, we did a bunch of songs. We did like some of the, let's say, classic Nebula tunes. The ones we usually play at shows like Giant or Clear Lights.
Yeah.
Then we did a bunch from Holy Shit as well, and I think we did like one or two new songs because we're working on a new record right now.
Right.
We have a bunch of songs, and there were a couple that we had ready that that we're happy to play out, sort of thing. So there's definitely one, maybe two brand new songs that haven't been released yet, that haven't even been recorded yet. Actually, we've only done demos for them.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff from Holy Shit, and then a sprinkling from previous, all the other records, and a couple of new ones. So hopefully people dig it.
Yeah, that was the next question, because Holy Shit came in 2019. but it came out after 10 years, you know.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that comeback, and I was wondering if we have to wait another 10 years for our next album, but I assume not, as you have new songs, right?
Yeah, no, it's it. We've been working on the new record. We would have had it out. Actually, we'd have done it probably sooner had there not been the lockdowns and everything going on. And Eddie just had his Eddie and his girlfriend. They just had a baby. It's his first child.
Yeah.
So because of the lockdowns and things, that there's no one can go anywhere and tour to promote. We didn't rush into doing the record again. We didn't push forwards with it so much. We're just taking our time with it. So Eddie can enjoy the time with his new baby boy and that kind of thing. So it's we're planning. I guess it takes a few months or whatever after it's recorded. So it'll probably be out around the summer, late summer kind of thing, towards the second half of the year.
Yeah.
We've got, and we've probably put out maybe like some EPs, an EP or something, or some extra stuff, because we keep writing songs, and as time goes on, and then it's trying to get sort of narrow them down for a record. It's kind of difficult when you keep getting new songs, and then we'll put out a record, and then some other stuff too. Maybe EPs or singles or something. So there'll be lots more material coming very soon from us.
Great.
That's for sure.
Great. So you mentioned before that you play Giant, which is a classic on your set in the Mojave Desert. Actually, that album, Charge, this year is the 20th anniversary of that album. It was the last with Mark, and then you came in the band.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
how fond are you of that?
Huh?
Yeah, how fond are you of that album? What do you think about doing when everything goes back to normal? If it goes back to normal, I hope so. Doing an anniversary tour of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to. I remember I joined with Nebula as a guitar tech around that time.
Yeah.
And that record came out, and I'm just suddenly sitting here thinking like, shit. 20 years, god damn, I feel old now. That sounds like a great idea. Like we'd be down to do something like that. I'm sure it's just play like the record in its entirety from start to finish kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we still play like songs like All the Way, and we haven't done Do It Now for a while, but it'd be fun to do something like that. Actually, it could be good. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally. And I remember the last time I saw you guys was in Hellfest, this festival in France in 2018.
Oh, yeah.
And it was awesome. And you just reformed the year before, 2017. After being out since, I think, 2010, something like that. You were out 7 years. So, what actually happened? You were really sick of touring, and you decided to just give it a stop or something like that?
Yeah, well, both Eddie and I were injured, like physically injured. He'd messed up his foot, and he was in a lot of like pain and discomfort. And I have messed up back since 2004. I have 2 herniated discs, and just the constant traveling and the physical aspect of it. It was just getting harder and harder, and in the end, something had to break, and rather than break ourselves permanently, it was just like we stepped away for some time, and just had to like recoup, and mentally and physically and spiritually, we stayed friends and whatever, and then I think it's like about 2016 we started. Eddie would come over and he'd hang out at my place, and we were messing around playing guitars, and then I had Keith from Sasquatch staying with me for a few weeks.
Yeah,
and we'd all hang out and just like smoke pot and jam on guitars, and just like put some recorders down in the room and just improvise, just having fun basically. And yeah, Keith kept saying, "You guys should start playing again. You guys should start playing." He was like, "Maybe, And then our booking agent Sabine in Germany, she approached us and said, "You guys ready to start playing yet?" And I guess she'd had an offer from a festival in Spain that wanted us to play, and so we talked about it, and then it was like, okay, we need to find a drummer. And I happened to know somebody that I played with in the time off from Nebula, Mike.
Yeah.
And because Eddie's a drummer himself, he's been playing drums since he's like 3 years old. He's an incredible drummer. So when we find a drummer, he has to be really good, so they got fit up to Eddie's standards. And I knew Mike was good enough, and he had the skills and he had the personality that fit in with us both. And we tried him out, and he fit like a glove. So that's once we got him, everything else fell into place. We were able to start playing shows again. So
amazing. That's great. When Nebula started at the end of the 90s, and when you came in the early 2000s, everything about this stoner scene was just, well, it was not starting, but it was starting to develop into something else. Right now we have festivals dedicated to stoner music, and actually it's quite big here in Europe. But do you feel like the stoner scene or the stoner music is actually a genre? I mean, is something actually that you guys, Nebula, and the bands before, Caius, Fu Manchu, all these bands started? Or it was just a continuation of normal rock and roll playing in the desert?
Yeah, I mean, from my part, I grew up in London.
Yeah.
Southwest London. And I know from just talking to the guys and living out here and stuff now, it's kind of, it wasn't even like a thing. It was just everybody's just doing what they did. They're just playing music and soaking up their surroundings. And I don't think it's like really kind of an intentional thing. It seems like it's more of like a spin-off or a variation, like an offshoot from like the whole grunge scene.
Yeah.
From Seattle, because like Nebula has ties to that.
Yeah.
With like Mudhoney and Jack Endino and stuff, and just the whole sound. It was taken off with like a sort of a Southern California flair to it. But then there's Monster Magnet on the East Coast, in New Jersey. They were doing their thing.
Yeah.
And there's no deserts or anything there, but it's all the same vibe. And I guess it just kind of evolved. Things evolve and mutate, and it just become their own thing in the end. And I guess that's what it's evolved into now. It's like a whole genre of itself, and it's pretty amazing how things like that take on a life, and become a monster kind of thing. Because you'd have to ask maybe Eddie like how he felt about the being part of that scene, because his first band was Olive Lawn, where he played drums. It's like a punk rock band from San Diego. Yeah. And that's like they toured with Nirvana and things, so there was ties there to the scene, but seems like it's just all just a continuation of rock and roll and how it basically just evolves, and people need to be able to label something in a sense, and to identify it from and separate from, and I guess stoner rock is what it got called.
Yeah, totally. Well, just to finish the interview, after you guys, there are still bands that are gonna play on the Mojave, although they're gonna stream the shows in the Mojave Desert. for example, Stoner, which is a new project from Bram Bjork and Nicole Berry. But
Yeah.
if you have to choose one band that you think it will fit perfectly to play there
Uh-huh.
on that scenario, which will be your choice?
Uh-huh. Oh, if I could pick any band?
Yeah.
Huh. Let's see. Uh, oh, you put me on the spot now early in the morning. I'm trying to think of there's some band. Whenever I get asked these questions about bands, I always draw a blank in my head. It's like, oh God, and then later on I think, oh, I should have said so and so. But
Maybe a
there's a
band you
band.
tour with or a band you saw
Yeah,
and you thought it was incredible.
there's a band. They're originally from Boston. They're called Banshee.
Yeah?
They have a record out. I forget the label. It's a British label, but they're on the same record label as the Heads. See, actually,
Yeah.
the Heads would be a great band for the desert out here. You know, doing the live from the Mojave Desert. But also, yeah, this band Banshee. They're
Yeah.
kind of like the Stooges on acid kind of thing, and yeah, they'd fit perfectly in out here doing that kind of thing. I think three of the guys now, I'm friends with one of them. I met them out here. We play together sometimes, just messing around. But yeah, they're a Boston band originally, and it's not the. I guess there's like a hair metal band or something called Banshee from the '80s, but yeah, it's totally not anything like that. It's yeah, Stooges on acid.
Great, that sounds cool.